The Story That Wrote Itself by A. M. Melfa. Appendix 2. Sir Eustace Grey by the Reverend George Crabbe, 1807. This poem is entitled Sir Eustace Grey and was written in September 1807 by the Reverend George Crabbe. It turned out to be the apophenic rug that pulled the story that wrote itself together, much like Lebowski's rug. Dear Incog listeners, please forgive my inevitable twists of tongue, as the poem's vernacular is antiquated and I am no pro voiceover artist. Despite these provisos, I hope you enjoy this, the other Eustace. Sir Eustace Grey. Scene, a madhouse. Persons, visitor, physician, and patient. Quote, Verus miscens falsa. Truth is mixed with falsehood. Seneca. Visitor. I'll know no more, the heart is torn by views of woe we cannot heal. Long shall I see these things forlorn, and oft again their grief shall feel, as each upon the mind shall steal that one projector's mystic style, that lumpish idiot leering by, that peevish idler's ceaseless wile, and that poor maiden's half-formed smile, while struggling for the full-drawn sigh. I'll know no more. Physician. Yes, turn again, then speed to happier scenes thy way, when thou hast viewed what yet remains, the ruins of Sir Eustace Grey, the sport of madness, misery's prey. But he will know historian need. His cares, his crimes he will display, and show as one from frenzy freed, the proud lost mind, the rash done deed. That cell to him is Grayling Hall. Approach, he'll bid thee welcome there. Will sometimes for his servant call, and sometimes point the vacant chair. He can with free and easy air appear attentive and polite, can veil his woes in manners fair, and pity with respect excite. Patient. Who comes? Approach, 'tis kindly done. My learned physician and a friend, their pleasures quit to visit one who cannot to their ease attend, nor joys bestow, nor comforts lend, as when I lived so blessed, so well, and dreamt not I must soon contend with those malignant powers of hell. Physician. Less warmth, Sir Eustace, or we will go. Patient. See, I am calm as infant love, a very child, but one of woe, whom you should pity, not reprove. But men at ease, who never strove with passion's wile, will calmly show how soon we may their ills remove, and masters of their madness grow. Some 20 years, I think, are gone. Time flies, I know not how, anyway. The sun upon no happier shone, nor prouder man than Eustace Grey. Ask where you would, and all would say, the man admired and praised of all, by rich and poor, by grave and gay, was the young lord of Grayling Hall. Yes, I had youth and rosy health, was nobly formed as man might be. For sickness then, of all my wealth, I never gave a single fee. The ladies fair, the maidens free, were all accustomed then to say, who would a handsome figure see, should look upon Sir Eustace Grey. He had a frank and pleasant look, a cheerful eye and accent bland. His very speech and manner spoke the generous heart, the open hand. About him all was gay or grand, he had the praise of great and small. He bought, improved, projected, planned, and reigned a prince at Grayling Hall. My lady, she was all we love, all praise to speak her worth is faint. Her manner showed the yielding dove, her morals the seraphic saint. She never breathed nor looked complaint, no equal upon earth had she. Now what is this fair thing I paint? Alas, as all that live shall be. There was beside a gallant youth, and him my bosom's friend I had. Oh, I was rich in very truth, it made me proud, it made me mad. Yes, I was lost, but there was cause. Where stood my tale I cannot find. But I had all mankind's applause and all the smiles of womankind. There were two cherub things beside, a gracious girl, a glorious boy, yet more to swell my full-blown pride, to varnish higher my fading joy. Pleasures were ours without alloy, nay, paradise, till my frail Eve, our bless was tempted to destroy, deceived and fated to deceive. But I deserved for a time, when I was loved, admired, caressed, there was within each secret crime, unfelt, uncancelled, unconfessed. I never then my God addressed in grateful praise or humble prayer, and if his word was not my jest, dread thought, it never was my care. I doubted, fool I was to doubt, if that all-piercing eye could see, if he who looks all worlds throughout would so minute and careful be as to perceive and punish me. With man I would be great and high, but with my God so lost that he in his large view should pass me by. Thus blessed with children, friend and wife, blessed far beyond the vulgar lot of all that gladdens human life, where was the good that I had not? But my vile heart had sinful spot, and heaven beheld its deepening stain. Eternal justice I forgot, and mercy sought not to obtain. Come near, I'll softly speak the rest. Alas, 'tis known to all the crowd, her guilty love was all confessed, and his, who so much truth avowed. My faithless friends, in pleasure proud, I sat when these cursed tidings came. Their guilt, their flight was told aloud, and envy smiled to hear my shame. I called on vengeance at the word, she came, can I the deed forget? I held the sword, the accursed sword, the blood of his false heart made wet. And that fair victim paid her debt, she pined, she died, she loathed to live. I saw her dying, see her yet, fair fallen thing, my rage forgive. Those cherubs still, my life to bless, were left could I my fears remove, sad fears that checked each fond caress, and poisoned all parental love. Yet that with jealous feelings strove, and would at last have won my will, had I not, wretch, be doomed to prove thy extremes of moral good and ill. In youth, health, joy, in beauty's pride, they drooped as flowers when blighted bough. The dire infection came, they died, and I was cursed as I am now. Nay, frown not, angry friend, allow that I was deeply, sorely tried. Here then, and you must wonder how I could such storms and strifes abide. Storms, not that clouds in battle make, when they afflict this earthly globe, but such as with their terror shake man's breast and to the bottom probe. They make the hypocrite disrobe, they try us all, if false or true. For this one devil had power on Job, and I was long the slave of two. Physician. Peace, peace, my friend, these subjects fly. Collect thy thoughts, go calmly on. Patient. And shall I then the facts deny? I was, thou knowest, I was begone, like him who filled the eastern throne, to whom the watcher cried aloud, that royal wretch of Babylon, who was so guilty and so proud. Like him with haughty stubborn mind, I in my state my comfort sought, delight and praise I hoped to find in what I builded, planted, bought. Oh, arrogance, my misery taught, soon came a voice, I felt it come. Full be his cup with evil fraught, demons his guide, and death his doom. When I was cast from out my state, two fiends of darkness led my way. They waked me early, watched me late, my dread by night, my plague by day. Oh, I was made their sport, their play, through many a stormy, troubled year, and how they used their passive prey is sad to tell, but you shall hear. And first before they sent me forth through this unpitying world to run, they robbed Sir Eustace of his worth, lands, manors, lordships, every one. So was that gracious man undone, was spurned as vile, was scorned as poor, whom every former friend would shun, and menials drove from every door. Then rose ill-favored ones, whom none but my unhappy eyes could view, led me with wild emotion on, and with restless terror drew. Through lands we fled, o'er seas we flew, and halted on a boundless plain, where nothing fed, nor breathed, nor grew, but silence ruled the still domain. Upon that boundless plain below, the sun's setting last rays were shed, and gave a mild and sober glow, where all were still, asleep or dead. Vast ruins in the mist were spread, pillars and pediments sublime, where the gray mass had formed a bed, and clothed the crumbling spoils of time. There I was fixed, I know not how, condemned for untold years to stay, yet years were not one dreadful now, endured no change of night or day. The same mild evening sleep ray shone softly solemn and serene, and all that time I gazed away, the setting sun's sad rays were seen. At length a moment's sleep stole on, again came my commissioned foes. Again through sea and land we are gone, no peace, no respite, no repose. Above the dark broad sea we rose, we ran through bleak and frozen land. I had no strength, their strength to oppose, an infant in a giant's hand. They place me where those streamers play, those nimble beams of brilliant light. It would be the stoutest heart of dismay to see, to feel that dreadful sight. So swift, so pure, so cold, so bright, they pierced my frame with icy wound, and all that half year's polar night those dancing streamers wrapped me round. Slowly that darkness passed away, and down upon the earth I fell. Some hurried sleep was mine by day, but soon, as tolled the evening bell, they forced me on wherever dwell far distant men, in cities fair, cities of whom no travellers tell, nor feet but mine were wanderers there. Their watchmen stare and stand aghast, as on we hurry through the dark. The watch light blinks as we go past, the watchdog shrinks and fears to bark. The watchtower's bell sounds shrill, and hark! The free winds blow, we've left the town, a wild sepulchral ground I mark, and on a tombstone place me down. What monuments of mighty deed, what tombs of various kind are found, and stones erect their shadows shed on humble graves with wickers bound, some risen fresh above the ground, some level with the native clay. What sleeping millions await the sound, arise, ye dead, and come away. Alas, they stay not for that call, spare me this woe, ye demons, spare. They come, the shrouded shadows all, 'tis more than mortal brain can bear. Rustling they rise, they sternly glare at man upheld by vital breath, who led by wicked fiends should dare to join the shadowy troops of death. Yes, I have felt all men can feel, till he shall pay his nature's debt, ills that no hope has strength to heal, no mind the comfort to forget. Whatever cares the heart can fret, the spirits wear the temper gall. Woe, want, dread, anguish, all beset my sinful soul together all. Those fiends upon a shaking fen fixed me the dark tempestuous night. There never trod the foot of men, there flocked the fowl in wintry light. There danced the moor's deceitful light above the pool where sedges grow, and when the morning sun shone bright, it shone upon a field of snow. They hung me on a bough so small, the rook could build her nest no higher. They fixed me on the trembling ball that crowned the steeple's quivering spire. They set me where the seats retire, but drown with their returning tide, and made me flee the mountain's fire, unrolling from its burning side. I've hung upon the ridgy steep of cliffs and held the rambling briar. I've plunged below the billowy deep where air was sent to me to respire. I've been where hungry wolves retire, and to complete my woes, I've run where Bedlam's crazy crew conspire against the life of reasoning man. I've furled in storms the flapping sail by hanging from the topmast head. I've served the vilest slaves in jail and picked the dunghill's spoil for bread. I've made the badger's hole my bed. I've wandered with a gypsy crew. I've dreaded all the guilty dread and done what they would fear to do. On sand where ebbs and flows the flood, midway they placed and bade me die. Propped on my staff I stoutly stood when the swift waves came rolling by. And high they rose, and still more high, till my lips drank the bitter brine. I sobbed, convulsed, then cast mine eye, and saw the tide's reflowing sign. And then my dreams were such as naught could yield but my unhappy case. I've been of thousands devils caught, and thrust into that horrid place, where reign dismay, despair, disgrace. Furies with iron fangs were there to torture that accursed race, doomed to dismay, disgrace, despair. Harmless I was, yet hunted down for treasons to my soul unfit. I've been pursued through many a town for crimes that petty knaves commit. I've been adjudged to have lost my wit because I preached so loud and well, and thrown into a dungeon's pit for trampling on the pit of hell. Such were the evils, man of sin, that I was fated to sustain, and add to all within, a soul defiled with every stain. That man's reflecting mind can pain, that pride, wrong, rage, despair can make. In fact, they'd nearly touched my brain, and reason on her throne would shake. But pity will the vilest seek, if punished guilt will not repine. I hear a heavenly teacher speak, and felt the sun of mercy shine. I hailed the light, the birth divine, and then was sealed among the few. Those angry fiends beheld the sign, and from me in an instant flew. Come hear how thus the charmers cry to wandering sheep, the strays of sin, while some of the wicket gate pass by, and some will knock and enter in. Full joyful 'tis a soul to win, for he that winneth souls is wise. Now hark, the holy strains begin, and thus the sainted preacher cries. Pilgrim, birthed with thy sin, come the way to Zion's gate, there till mercy let thee in. Knock and weep, and watch and wait. Knock, he knows the sinner's cry. Weep, he loves the mourner's tears. Watch, for his saving grace is nigh. Wait till heavenly light appears. Hark, it is the bridegroom's voice. Welcome, pilgrim, to thy rest. Now within the gate rejoice, safe and sealed and bought and blessed. Safe from all the lures of vice, sealed by the signs the chosen known, bought by love and life the price, blessed the mighty debt to owe. Holy pilgrim, what for thee in a world like this remain? From thy guarded breast shall flee fear and shame and doubt and pain. Fear, the hope of heaven shall fly, shame from the glory's view retire. Doubt in certain rapture die, pain in endless bliss expire. But though my day of grace was come, yet still my days of grief I find. The former clouds collected gloom still sadden the reflecting mind. The soul, the evil things consigned, will of their evil some retain. The man will seem to earth inclined, and will not look erect again. Thus, though elect, I feel it hard to lose what I possessed before, to be from all my wealth debarred. The brave Sir Eustace is no more, but old I wax, and passing poor. Stern, rugged men my conduct view, they chide my wish, they bar my door. 'Tis hard I weep, you see I do. Must you, my friends, no longer stay? Thus quickly all my pleasures end. But I'll remember when I pray my kind physician and his friend. And those sad hours you deign to spend with me, I shall requite them all. Sir Eustace for his friends shall send, and thank their love at Grayling Hall. Visitor. The poor Sir Eustace, yet his hope leads him to think of joys again, and when his earthly visions droop, his views of heavenly kind remain. But whence that meek and humbled strain, that spirit wounded, lost, resigned? Would not so proud a soul disdain the madness of the poorest mind? Physician. No, for the more he swelled with pride, the more he felt misfortune's blow. Disgrace and grief he could not hide, and poverty had laid him low. Thus shame and sorrow working slow, at length this humble spirit gave. Madness on these began to grow, and bound him to his fiends a slave. Though the wild thoughts had touched his brain, then he was free, so forth he ran. To sooth or threat alike were vain. He spake of friends, looked wild and wan. Year after year the hurried man obeyed those fiends from place to place, till his religious change began to form a frenzied child of grace. For as the fury lost its strength, the mind reposed, the slow degrees came lingering hope, and brought at length to the tormented spirit ease. This slave of sin, whom fiends could seize, felt or believed their power had end. 'Tis faith, he cried, my bosom frees, and now my Saviour is my friend. But ah, though time can yield relief, and soften woes it cannot cure, would we not suffer pain and grief to have our reason sound and sure? Then let us keep our bosoms pure, our fancy's favourite flights suppress, prepare the body to endure, and bend the mind to meet distress, and then his guardian care implore, whom demons dread and men adore. That was the poem Sir Eustace Grey by the Reverend George Crabbe. End of Appendix 2.